How far can Sporting go in the Champions League? This is the first video we're doing here with my guy, Kevin Fernandes, a Sporting fan you've got a lots of football insights. How are you feeling, mate?
Feeling good to be here, feeling good about Sporting's chances in the Champions League, to be honest.
So, as 2 fixtures in the league, 9 goals. So, Sporting fans, it's looking very good with Rúben Amorim in this it's his 5th. No, I'd say he's been 5 years now at the club, possibly, and gonna win 3 titles. Let's see if that will be the case. But yes, it had to be Sporting. Nuno Mendes, he was the big player at the time. Who is now the big player, Kevin, that makes you excited to watch Sporting on a weekly basis?
Hey, we're talking about one left-sided player, technically a wing-back. I'm going to go to someone who plays on the right, who's technically a wing-back at the moment. He is traditionally a winger. Obviously, I have to go for Hjulmand and Gyokeres. No way you cannot talk about this kid. 17 years old, and he's already cemented his place in the first team. Starting place, first 3 games, even against Porto, he has the confidence of Rúben Amorim, and he's destined for the top.
Love what you said.
Absolutely no way that he doesn't make the top of Portuguese football and European football.
He is definitely a player with the potential to play for the Portuguese national team. Initial thoughts with Giovanni Kenda's talent, but you said it very well, Kevin. Giovanni Kenda played with Porto, and since then, 3 games, 3 starts. Yes, Sporting lost that first game, but he even scored, playing as a right wing back, which he's a right winger initially, and defensively he hasn't been an issue. So these are only very good attributes that we're seeing at such a young age with this player. I had to talk about Giovanni Kenda. Lamine Yamal is the best 17-year-old in football. Rodrigo Moura, very talented Porto wonder kid, but Giovanni Kenda is cementing himself as a top player, as a top right winger or right wing back in this case, in the world of football. I love what you just said with that, Kevin. We're talking about how far can Sporting go in the Champions League, but initially I think it makes sense to talk about the league. What are your expectations, Kevin, initially? Sporting are favorites to win the league, and it will be back-to-back, right?
Hey, they can do it. They can definitely do it. The attacking output of all the front players, be it Pedro Gonçalves, obviously Victor Gyokeres, everyone knows about him by now. Trincão as well, Francisco Trincão, he's on very good form. Started around 2024, has just been amazing for him.
True.
But these players are such in good form. They have such good chemistry. They intertwine, they move, they link together so well. You cannot put no defense can lock them up.
True.
You will never expect Sporting not to score a goal in a game. But it does seem that is the case at the moment. There are still some things to sort out in defense. New goalkeeper, Vladan Kovacevic, he's easing his way in.
True.
Not everyone's convinced yet, but it is a very difficult position.
True.
Everyone's goalkeeper position is very unforgiving. And your vice captain, Sebastian Coates, Liverpool fans will know him. And also Luis Neto. He was not a starter in his final season, but 2 vocal, experienced players in the back line have been lost. And Sporting have definitely one of the best under-21 defenses in the world. I think you'd agree.
Best under-23 defense in the world. Gonçalo Inácio, Diomande, Debast at right center-back, or Eduardo Quaresma, you consider?
Hey, at the moment, Eduardo Quaresma. But that's only because, Debast has to earn his way into the starting 11. And
so
it's
they
an
are the
unforgiving
best
job at the moment because of his form.
So they are the best in the world, under 23, in your opinion?
Undoubtedly.
I love
because
that
you have the option of 3, 4 top centre-backs. And they do play well together. It's just ironing out little issues, a little bit of concentration, organisation. But you expect that because they are still young kids. They are wonder kids. They are still growing in the game of football.
Yeah, replacing Coates that had 9 years at Sporting, 8 trophies. That is an enormous legacy. One of the best centre-backs I've ever seen at Sporting. So if Diomande, Debast, Eduardo Quaresma, or Gonçalo Inácio, I'd say he's got a higher potential of legacy if it all goes right. And then I want to go to a point that you said about Pot, Gyokeres, Trincão playing better together, which is factual. Pot, in my opinion, is the most important player in the Rúben Amorim era. We've seen him play at midfield. We now see him at a high level at right winger. 4 goals, 3 assists initially this season. In 4 years, he's got 181 matches, 80 goals, 46 assists, and 5 trophies. Motivation was him not getting selected to go to the Euros right now. And I believe because of just that, Rúben Amorim knows he's got a special team this season. Going back to the Champions League focus that is in this video, Rúben Amorim has 150 wins at Sporting. Back in 2021-2022, when Sporting lost, unfortunately, 5-0 to Man City, they did go through in a group with Dortmund, Besiktas there too. They did go through. So that shows what a worse team they went through in the Champions League in qualification. So we can have an ambition of Sporting going through in the top 8 of the Champions League, in my view. Is it realistic to think that Sporting can get an 8th or a 7th position in this new format of the Champions League? Kevin?
It's definitely possible. The team has the potential. They have the quality. They can definitely do it. Now, even in our first season, as everyone knew, there were nerves. There was only not the 5-0 to Manchester City. Everyone knew about that in the knockout stages. Unfortunate, yes, but Man City in that game had 6 shots to score those 5 goals. It's improbable that it would happen again if they had repeated that game another 10 times. It was unfortunate, but the point is they also lost 5 to Ajax at home, the first game back. That team did feel the nerves because they hadn't been in the Champions League for a long while. Sporting was getting used to the Europa League.
True.
Or even in the league title that they won, 2021, breaking the 19-year duct. They had actually lost in qualifying for the Europa League. So it's a big step up. Now, this team is much better prepared. They have players with experience in the Champions League. They have just gone off a league title. Rúben Amorim is also more catered to the occasion. It is not unrealistic to think that this team cannot finish at least in the top 16 and make a push for the top 8, depending on the draw. It's a new system. Anything can happen.
Giving in context is true. Giving context to people, the new Champions League format is 36 teams. It's a league phase initially. The top 8 go through to the round of 16, and the 9th to the 24th have a playoff, and their Sporting could finish and realistically go to the round of 16. This team, anyone that faces them will struggle in this Rúben Amorim system that I think was very, very successful. I said 150 wins, and it's mad to think like Sporting this is going to be a bold comparison. People at home might scream. Rúben Amorim, I'm not saying he's Pep Guardiola, but Pep Guardiola at Man City is in constant rebuild, and the Sporting team is very different from the Sporting team that won the league the first time. Paulinho was there. Other stars were there. And right now you see a Gyokeres, Martin Hjulmand, that Paulinho was important last season too. It wasn't the best player to give an example, but Pedro Porro, Nuno Mendes, Adam, another leader that left. Other players were very, very important. And Rúben Amorim has won the league twice now with different players being instrumental. Now in the 3rd season, we see one of the most, I'd say, talented lineups in the world of football with youngsters. And I see a team that has Gyokeres and Martin Hjulmand that has elevated Morita, that has elevated Daniel Bragança, elevated Trincão, elevated the players around them. And that increases the value of the squad and the ambitions. Okay? Because FC Wonder Kid, that's been a podcast that I've done weekly, and I've seen a lot of Wonder Kids growing as players. And it's very different. Giovanni Kenda has the luxury to be in an ambitious locker room next to Gyokeres that wants to win the league. Next to a Martin Hjulmand that is the best midfielder in the Portuguese league now that João Neves left, I think. Those 2 assists, that was insane. I might ask. I might ask, do you think João Neves before was the best midfielder? and now Martin Hjulmand.
Undoubtedly. You cannot. And Benfica fans, they are going to miss João Neves. And if they don't know it yet, obviously they're not happy with the transfer fee. Rui Costa, come on, 60 million outright fee.
Well, the big
with
thing,
his release clause.
I think it's a good fee if you see like the amounts of players compared like in the world of football. But my big thing with it is next season, would he be sold at that price realistically again? I think so. I think that is possible with the talent level.
This is what Benfica do.
But
they've sold high. They have withheld and at least sold for what the release clause says.
But another
is
thing on
Less
Sporting
than anything.
that helps, I think, the structure and the project. I think there's also good things with Rui Costa. Like, I think Bresciani is going to be a very good signing. Roger Schmidt, let's see if he's the right choice, but he's won the title and he could win it again. It's been a rough start, but Sporting are showing good signs with these nine goals in 2 fixtures. But another aspect that I want to say that I could compare Sporting to the City project to, it's the retention of the best players, in the sense that Sporting did 2 very smart moves this summer transfer. That was to sell Fatawu for 17 million to Leicester, which it was a great loan deal. And they sold now Mateus Fernandes, reports are saying, to Southampton for 15 million. That is more than 30 million raised for 2 youngsters that didn't play and didn't get this value from playing at Sporting. So this comes from good management from Muk Vienna, good communication with Rúben Amorim, a very high understanding on how to win titles in a structured way. With this money, you can retain a Vítor Gyokeres maybe another season. You can retain a Martin Hjulmand that is now captain, because you show ambition and organization to players that generate a ton of quality to your team. That's why my first video here with Kevin, a Sporting fan, it's how far can Sporting go in the Champions League? Because there's really ambitions, okay? I'm going to go bold and say this Sporting team can do the best campaign ever in the Champions League of Sporting. It's realistic. Vítor Gyokeres is the best striker I've seen at Sporting. Immediate impact since he arrived. First season, 43 goals, 15 assists. And then I see Martin Hjulmand improving a lot. Morita, one of the most underrated players in the league. This under-23 defense that we're loving with Inácio Diomande, Eduardo Quaresma, the best sign. To convince the best must have had offers of the Premier League top teams, and he said, no, I like Rúben, I like the project, I'll go to Lisbon. Sporting Clube Portugal, not Sporting Lisbon, okay? This is something all the news outsources must fix this. It's irresponsible, it's disrespectful in my view. Sporting Clube Portugal.
Finally.
And if Sporting goes bold in the Champions League, which we believe it's highly possible with Rúben Amorim, 39-year-old phenom manager, they must fix that. and 100%. Big thumbs up to the social media of Sporting Clube Portugal that they've elevated the level here in Portugal, definitely. And something I'm seeing with Porto too, with André Villas-Boas, the social media game, Rodrigo Mora talking to 0-0 with Vasco Souza and Gonçalo Souza. That's not something you'd see in the past. So strides are being done.
Off of the TikTok pages as well. Watch out, because they do break the mold a little bit.
It's true. Kevin, you're going to break the mold too, okay? You're going to break the mold too, because I'm going to ask you here some questions, because Vítor Gyokeres, let me phrase this differently. Vítor Gyokeres, 3 games, 3 goals, 3 assists right now this season. Dominic Solanke was bought by Southampton for 75 million euros. Scored 19 Premier League goals last season. Do I believe Gyokeres is a better player? I 100% do. Okay? 100% do. And I want to make this exercise with you, Kevin, to prove that other people do believe the same as me that watch Sporting weekly, like you do. Okay? I think people need to value that thought process, that thought process too. So, Vítor Gyokeres or the striker that I'm gonna mention, okay, Kevin?
Yep. Let's
Gabriel
go for
Jesus.
Let's go for it. Gyokeres.
Vlahovic.
Gyokeres.
Solanke. Let me go a bit more difficult here. So, Darwin Núñez.
I'll say the same. Gyokeres can do what Darwin does, but I don't think Darwin can do what Gyokeres does.
Alexander Isak?
That's the most difficult one so far. And that might be what Arsenal are thinking right now. Which one do they invest on?
But Gyokeres.
I have to back him.
Lautaro Martinez.
I have to back him. I will go for Gyokeres again.
And here, Harry Kane?
Right, Harry Kane has to win.
Yes. And Erling Haaland.
Best in Europe.
And Erling Haaland too. The two strikers that you definitely pick ahead of Vítor Gyokeres right now, it's Erling Haaland and Harry Kane. A lot because of their experience.
Without a shadow of the doubt.
And a lot because of what they've shown. Haaland has scored. He did the record in one season in the Premier League. And Harry Kane, I believe Harry Kane will win a trophy, even if it's the DFB Pokal, okay? Because Xabi Alonso is in the Bundesliga. That's a whole other video.
It might have to be. It might have to be a DFB Pokal, and I don't think Harry Kane will mind at this stage in his career.
Very true. Very true. So any last thoughts, Kevin, on Sporting that you really want to say to the listeners as a fan?
Hey, just watch out. The defense are ironing out their issues.
Mm-hmm.
They have a young squad. Maybe the first 2, 3 games might not be smooth sailing. It might not be an immediate impact. But Sporting will definitely be audacious. They will go bold in this Champions League campaign. They will reach the knockout. Whether it be in the top 8, whether it be until the top 24, they will go through.
Love it.
Without a shadow of a doubt. And we have to watch out for them because they have multiple young players that any football fan can appreciate. As Hjulmand and Gyokeres,
Mm-hmm.
Pedro Gonçalves, or, of course, the man of the moment, Victor Gyokeres. Everyone's talking about him.
Would you say
And I
Rúben
don't think that's going to
Amorim
change.
is a top 10 manager in the world of football right now?
I don't think it's crazy to say that at all.
At
Just because of
39 years old. 2
the
titles
stability.
in 4 years.
The
Mm-hmm.
stability he's given a club like Sporting Club de Portugal. He's already one of the top 5 managers with more games for a top Portuguese club who hadn't won a title in 19 years.
Developed.
it's-
Rúben Amorim players
Come on.
developed. Nuno Mendes, Pedro Porros, João Palhinha, Manuel Ugarte, Pedro Gonçalves. He's helped Morten Hjulmand be a starter for Denmark. He's helped Victor Gyokeres be a starter for Sweden. His results are more than shown. Champions League now this season. We are warning you guys. This is what we have to do here. Thank you, Kevin, so much for your insights about Sporting, what you're saying. A lot of value. And you're going to go back to this video and say they were right about Sporting, okay? Like this video for more content just like this. Let's have a like goal of 50 likes for the first one. Come on. For the first one. Come on. We'll go both on socials showing this content too that deserves to be seen because the Sporting fandom, the Sporting team, the Sporting culture, I've never seen it as high as it is right now. And that deserves to be congratulated. So, Portuguese League, you've been warned. You got to tune in. Subscribe to this channel, please. It helps us a lot. And thank you for listening until now.